Our next inductee is the best hare scramble rider that I've ever seen and that you've ever seen, unless you've seen his son. I was told recently that Rusty Reynaud's son was really good. And when you say Rusty Reynaud and his son is really good, I said, come on. My brother said, no, he's really, really good. And he is. But for my money, there's been no one better at racing with trees in the way than Rusty Reynaud. Rusty sent me a message yesterday. Rusty's a different kind of guy. I reached out to him and I said, we want to induct you in the Missouri Motocross Hall of Fame. And he said, why? And I said, because you're the best there's ever been. He said, well, there's so many people that were better than me. And I said, no, there's not. There's no one that was better than you. We used to see him at Possum Hollow, and Jeff alluded to this. The Coliseum where they had the NASCAR race here, they used to have Supercross. Did you race the Coliseum, Jeff? They used to go up outside the thing and then come around. But at 10 years old, I was like, Possum Hollow has that. There was the one little short loop up there, and then the one big loop, and it's a 10-year-old kid. That was as big as the Coliseum. I couldn't imagine it being any bigger than that. But we rode hare scrambles at Possum Hollow, and I vividly remember Rusty racing and being so far ahead. Now, if you don't know what hare scramble, it's 2-hour time limit. Most laps wins. So it's a marathon. Rusty was so far ahead at times, he would stop, take off his wet, yucky jersey, eat a sandwich, and put on a clean jersey so that he would look good at the end, which was kind of funny because Rusty seems like the most humble person. I can't imagine, but it must have just been uncomfortable because it wasn't about vanity. I can't imagine. But he would change jerseys. Who changes jerseys in the middle of a race? But that's how good he was. He's in the Blackjack Enduro Hall of Fame. He's a Blackjack Enduro champion in 82, 83, and 84. The Blackjack Enduro, he finished third in 96, sixth in 97, sixth in 98, and sixth in 99. That's a long gap in between there to be competitive from 84 up to 99. 15 years later, he's still number 6. The ISDT and ISDE, that's the International 6-Day Enduro, which is if you run a marathon today and then tomorrow and then the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, that's dumb. Who would do that? Well, that's what they do. Twice he won a silver medal at the International 6-Day Enduro. Once in France, he finished 5th in the 125 class. Out of the whole, we're talking about guys who were good at local tracks here. Rusty was number 5 in the world. And he was the number 1 amateur. The 4 guys ahead of him were all professional. He was riding as an amateur. In Italy, he was riding a 250, finished 51st in the world. He, the Missouri State Hare Scramble champion twice. He was the Hillbilly Grand Prix champion twice. The National Hare Scramble in 89, this is again how good he is. He ran part of his schedule. He said, I'm tired, I'm not going to chase points. He finished 3rd, racing a partial schedule. Can you imagine that if Tomac or Ken Roxon said, I'm not going to race all the races, but still finished on the podium, racing part of his schedule? That's how good Rusty Reynaud is. He sent me a message yesterday, which his wife says is because he's a little procrastinator. I thought maybe it's just because Rusty's just kind of aloof and didn't really want to be a part of it. He's hard to get a hold of. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Travis is qualifying for the International 6-Day Enduro. I forgot to tell you, we won't be there. So, that being said, Rusty, I asked him, I said, do you think that maybe you could send us a video? Now, this is him from the hotel room, And this is what a gold medal international 6-day enduro rider looks like. Mom, does this look about like what Travis would be doing? Here in the background, just laying in bed. But while that's on there, before we do that, his wife Joy's here. Man, of all the trophies he won, how about this trophy? What a babe. Honey, don't you have something to do? I want to introduce the man who's going to present him. Mr. Haynes, would you like to come up? He's got a story or two, I understand, about Rusty Reynaud. I'm going to turn it over to him.
All right, thank you. First of all, I want to tell you that I didn't know I was doing this until about the start of this event. So I got no notes, nothing. If there is one word that you describes Rusty, it is humility. He is the most humble man you'll ever meet. And if you walked up to him and said, hey, I heard that you won the Blackjack Enduro 6 days, all that, and he'd never even come out and say, yes, I did. Yeah, I had a pretty good run at that. You know, that's just the way Rusty was. And so as I've been sitting here knowing that I had to get up here and say something, I got to think back at what his dad, I would say that his dad would be extremely proud. But if you knew Gary Reynaud, you would also know that he was a hard ass. And so Rusty was trying to qualify for 6 days in the early 80s. They were on the West Coast. Rusty blows his knee out at the first qualifier of a 2-week run. So Rusty's dad is like, we have drove all the way out here, and this is day 1, and we have got 4 more days, or 3 more days. So we're in Oregon this weekend. Next weekend, we're in California somewhere. So Rusty's dad, in the middle of the qualifier, gets duct tape out. Now, mind you, I wasn't there, but the story is incredible. Rusty's knee is hanging out here. Rusty's dad takes duct tape. Don't put anything over the skin, but he takes duct tape and he wraps his knee up. Back then, when you ran qualifiers, a lot of times the rider did all the mechanicking and stuff. So not only did Rusty's dad tape his knee up and expect him to finish the race in the weekend, he did. And then he worked on his bike. He changed the oil, changed the tires, did all the stuff, and Rusty finished. So then Rusty's dad stops and gets a doctor somewhere between Oregon and California. They take some fluid off the knee, get some new duct tape, and send him on to California. So that's a new level of tough, isn't it, Jeff? I could always see your dad doing that. Well, a little bit I know of your dad and been around your dad. He probably did that to you too. But anyway, like I said, Rusty is a very, very humble man. And I guarantee you he is truly honored for this award that he's going to receive today. And he is super proud of his son and the abilities that his son has, and how well he's doing and how well he did in his first qualifier, or first 6 days last year. So again, they're down there trying to qualify again. So with that being said, I want to thank you all on behalf of the Reynaud family. And again, just know that Rusty is truly honored for this award he's going to receive. I'm not taking a picture with you. Joy is.
How many people had an injury and had their dad say, quit crying, I had bigger scratches on my eyeballs? I got you new duct tape. What are you complaining about? I'm going to play this speech, and I hope that you can hear it okay. This is what Rusty, I listened to it earlier, and it's pretty funny. So,
hello, everybody. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person. Travis and I are in South Carolina riding a qualifier. That's him in the background race prepping. If he does well today and tomorrow, he will have a good chance to make it to the ISDE in France this fall. First, let me say thanks to Craig and Mary Stagner for their work to organize this event and all the time and effort they have put toward the Missouri Motocross Hall of Fame. I'm truly honored to be included in such a distinguished group of people that have contributed to our sport in so many ways. However, after careful consideration, I can think of no reason that I deserve this recognition. I've ridden a lot of miles, a bunch of races, won a few, and promoted a handful, but many people have done all that and more. So I don't know what I've done for the sport, but since you loaned me this stage, I can tell you what it has done for me. It gave a small for his age kid that was mediocre at best in school sports something that he could compete in and sometimes even win. As I got older, it filled lots of hours that could have been used to improve my getting in trouble skills. Later in life, it gave me time with my dad. We wrenched, traveled, raced, and play rode together. I was even fortunate enough to attend the ISDE with him 4 times, 3 in Europe. For several years, it was a whole family sport for me. This changed when Chloe decided that volleyball, cheerleading, and just being a girl was more down her alley. More recently, it has given me countless hours with my son, hours that most parents don't get. Travis and I have worked together, traveled together, and raced together. Last year, we were even able to travel to Italy as a family to support Travis in his first ISDE. Motorcycling has given me the chance to meet a great group of people, many I consider close, like family. You know, the family you can count on for a ride, a jump, or help when you need it. Now the next generation is coming along and our kids are doing life together, and I'm thrilled to see that motorcycling is a part. In conclusion, dirt bike riding and racing has been a huge part of my life. I can't imagine my world without it. It has been an awesome 55-year ride, and it's not over yet. Thank you.
What an amazing, humble man. And I'm going to put her on the spot. Would you please come up here and accept this award? And I want to get a photo with her. Miss Joy Reynaud, the real unsung hero, I'm sure, in all of this.